Hello everybody, it is DAMM time again. Okay, I will, I guess, just jump right in. I always kind of try to wait a few seconds for people to come online, but then I feel like when people are coming to watch on replay, they just have to like sit and listen to me talk for a minute or two. So let's just go ahead and jump right in, and then if you're coming in a little bit later, you can catch up. Okay, so let's see. Let's start today with a spiral, shall we? So just put however many like little rings around your spiral as you want. And then once we get our spiral done, let's just put some flower petals. And remembering to be aware of our lines, our start, draw, and stop points. Keep it mindful. Hey Meredith, hey Rebecca. I love that you guys are here so much with me. So I just started with my little spiral in the middle and put some flower petals, so not too far ahead. I think that let's go ahead and let's put like a longer kind of double petal. So I'm not sure if I've done these yet. So I've done the shorter ones, but let's do like a longer one. So we're just kind of going to go up like a regular petal, but just make a little kind of, you know, U-turn shape in there to make it like a double petal. So, and we'll just take those all the way around, remembering to turn our paper to save our wrist. And these will end up probably looking very wonky because it is really difficult to get them all like the same height and looking all, you know, kind of like the same going around. But that's okay because they're kind of like flower petals, and flower petals don't all look the same, do they? See, these take a little bit more time than your normal plain flower petal. Put in a little double nodule thing in there. But it actually, they look really pretty once you have them all done. I like this shape. This is also more of a Mendi or henna inspired shape. So let's see, how about we take and we just do an outline around that. Wait, do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's do that. So by that I just mean, you know, do that kind of where we're just taking and repeating the shape of the petals underneath, just as kind of a little outline going all the way around. And still being aware of our lines. And on these kind of lines too, you can kind of do almost more of a pause. Hey Laura, thanks for joining in. So I'll have my start point, and I'll start, then I'll draw, and then pause. Draw, pause, draw, pause. So you don't have to actually, you know, stop and lift your pen each time, just as long as you have that point to where you're focusing on that pause. Just to keep our lines really mindful. And let's see, what shall we do next? Let's put some, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw another one of these lines, just kind of like really close outside of this one. And then after, I may or may not fill this in to be like a solid, thicker line. So just make it like as close to the other one as you can. And we can either just, you know, in the end when we're decorating, keep it as a double line, or fill it in to be a really thick, solid line. There we go. Now let's see, let's do our chubby triangle shape just a little bit bigger. So we'll just do it kind of out to here and down. And I'm definitely going to be turning my paper on this one because it's hard to make these shapes when you're cocking your wrist all around. So just turn your paper as you're making the shapes, and it'll be much, much easier. Get a few of those in here. Let's see, I think in this space I probably have room for 2 more. So I'm gonna just kind of, think in my head to split the difference there and have that come down sort of in the middle. And as you do more and more mandalas, you'll kind of start to see those spacings and be able to kind of predict a little bit more where your shapes end up. And I mean, you can see a lot of mine come out really nicely because I've had so much practice, and still sometimes I'll end up with like a little teeny tiny space. I have to squeeze it in, or a much bigger space, and I have to try to figure out what I'm gonna do. But in the end, it doesn't really matter, just whatever it feels like at the time. If you want to squeeze it in, if you want to, just make it wider, if you want to just kind of put it behind, it's all good. Okay, let's see. Let's put in like kind of like a floating shape. So we're going to start at the top here and make kind of just a V shape. We're just going to follow that line going down here. So just following the lines of these 2 shapes, but not touching anywhere. And then let's see, let's just make kind of a semicircle shape going around there. Hey Tara, it's nice to see you again. See you, do you call it? Do you say see you when we're doing this? It's not hear from you, it's, I don't know, to have you with me again. Hi Marina. Hello Marion. It's nice to see everybody popping in. Doing now some little kind of detached shapes. So just practicing, because not all, when you're doing your mandalas, not all the shapes have to touch each other. You can, have them kind of floating a little bit, just to, open up the space, just to have something different. Really, when you're making mandalas, anything goes. Whatever pops into your head, you can do. Nothing is wrong. You can make, all, squiggly shapes. You can, make each one a little bit different. Whatever you feel like. It is your mandala for you alone. You only have to show somebody if you want to. So it doesn't matter what you do. That's really hard to say. I don't know. I mean, I do use a lot of elements from, I'm sorry, Marion is asking where I get my inspiration from. I always forget to repeat the question, so if you're watching it on replay, you'd have no idea what I'm talking about. I use a bit of shapes that are inspired by Mendi art, or like henna designs. So there's some of that. I love very organic and botanical shapes. So a lot of my mandalas are very botanical. They have a lot of botanical elements. I love to put in leaves and things like that in my mandalas. But mostly it's, just doing them over and over day by day. Like I'm on like day 60 now or something. And none of them, that would be really fun to just go through and have a session where I just, show you each and every one, and none of them will be exactly alike. A lot of them will have a lot of the same shapes, but none of them will be exactly alike. And a lot of that's just practice, because I've made so many, I can just kind of, think, and sometimes, they're more inspirational than others for sure. Sometimes depending on my mood and things like that, they can be kind of boring, or they can be more, fun and cool. And in these meditation mandalas, I do try to keep them on the more simple side, just because there's a lot of people that have never drawn mandalas or drawn anything at all before. So I want to make sure that they're very accessible for people who don't have any drawing experience to be able to do them. If you have, if you've done a lot of them and you have experience and you feel more comfortable, you can start getting, fancier and actually planning out the mandalas and doing it that way. Let's see, what are we going to do next? Let's go ahead and kind of do the same thing, but let's take from the middle here of each one, and we're going to, again, follow this shape, just kind of floating out. So do like a little curve here, and do a little curve there. And then what shall we do on the top? Let's do the little Hershey's Kiss shape, right? There we go. And remember, again, these will probably come out quite wonky. That is okay. They don't need to be perfect. Those shapes are very hard to get perfect. One side always comes out bigger or smaller or crooked or something than the other. If you want, you can, kind of give yourself a little guide of where to come to the center. That will just help sort of guide your hand, helping that hand-eye coordination, right? Because your eye sees where you want to go, and that will actually help guide your hand there. So you can go ahead and do that if you want, or you can just completely do it freehand, and it ends up where it ends up. There we go. Oh, a few more. Okay. Is anybody actually drawing with me today, or is everybody watching? I never know how speedy to go through the process. I don't want to go too fast and leave people behind, but I don't want to go too slow and bore the pants off of you. So it's like that balance. That's like the Goldilocks thing, right? It's just right. All right. Last one. And remembering, keep our attention on our lines. I just like to mention that once in a while because I know our minds start to wander, especially when we're doing some repeated shapes. And like I said before, a lot of times when I remind you of it is because I'm also reminding myself of it, because I'll tend to just start to mindlessly draw the lines, especially on repeated lines. So I have to bring my own focus back to my lines, back to the pen on my paper, and focusing on the actual line work that I'm making. And Tara, just watching for now, good. Marina, always find me too late. That's okay. I save them all so you can do them at any time. Watching me is also very relaxing, so good. And just to mention too, I keep them all on my, hey Kimberly, on my folder in my photos called DAMM Time, but I also am uploading them all to my YouTube channel. So you can, if that's easier for you to watch them from YouTube, you can go ahead and do that. And I'll put my link to my YouTube in the description or in the comments, so you can do that. And they're all in a what do you call it on YouTube? A playlist called probably DAMM Videos on there too. Okay, I just decided to repeat this, so if you see what I'm doing there, hello Candace, thanks for joining. And so let's, on this one, let's go ahead and make, since we've got one that's round here and one that's Hershey's Kiss shape, let's do this one as one of the chubby triangle shapes. So just having that kind of, bowed out or convex lines on the triangle shape there. And I just, you know, crack myself up by calling it chubby triangle. So I'm not sure if you guys find it as funny as I do, but. And okay. A few more. I actually, give me 1 second, I need a time check. Okay, good to go. Sometimes time goes by so strangely when I'm doing these. It'll go by extra fast, or hey Mason, or extra slow, and it's not always the same. Sometimes I'll look at do a time check and it's been extra fast, gone by extra fast, and sometimes it'll have gone by very slow. Okay. Oh no, I'm not done. Whoosh! You get all these shapes and you start to lose track of where you're at. All right, so I will do these 2 more of this shape, and then we'll do some inside work, some decorating or some of the inside designs. And remembering to keep focus on our lines, having our definite start and stop points so that we keep this very mindful. All right, here we go. What shall we do on the inside here? I'm kind of mixing styles here, if you notice. Like I started out with almost this more, you know, botanical, a little bit of, you know, Mendy inspired shapes. And then I kind of went a little bit almost geometric out here. A little bit more kaleidoscope feeling or something. So what can I do with that? I am going to, let's take inside of this shape and let's just do a double shape. So we're gonna just make the exact same shape there, just right on the inside. So you're kind of outlining on the inside or inlining. Just making that kind of double shape there. And I won't do them all just for time's sake, so I can show you guys more very varied things, or lots of different stuff. I try to get fancy in my speech and it just doesn't work. So then let's go next, and let's actually bring some of the botanical elements out into the other area. So I'm going to, inside this shape here, I'm going to add some petals. So I'm actually going to first add another little double shape. So I'm just going to make another little chubby triangle right in the center. And then again, I'm not going to do all the way around. And then I'm going to take, and just from the center there, I'm going to make petals going up. So just your regular flower petals. And then you can start them from here, or like I did, I started it right from the top and going down, just to kind of layer those petals going around. And if you start from, you know, somewhere toward the top, they look more like they're layered behind each other. So that's really pretty. I love, that's one of my favorite design elements to do, are these petal fillers here. And just filling these in. And then another thing that you can do with this this shape, and one thing that I like to do just to give them a little bit more weight and balance to them, is I will actually fill in the spaces in between where these petals meet the little chubby triangle shape. So just, you know, kind of touch in those spaces, and you might have bigger spaces than me, but just go ahead and fill those in, just really still being mindful of your lines or of your pen on the paper when you're filling. So we're not going to fill in a big rush, no, you know, scrubbing or scribbling. Just kind of try to, you know, outline the shapes that are there, and maybe do a, like a slow back and forth motion to fill the space. Filling is very difficult to keep the mindfulness going because it's a little bit, can be tedious. And so you have to make sure and really keep your mind focused on your pen on the paper and the strokes that you're making. But I really like the way that looks. It's really, really pretty. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Jen. Everybody's popping up while I'm focusing on my filling in. And so, yeah, I really just, like that kind of that weight. It just gives it that little bit of heaviness, that little bit of importance when you put the dark spaces in there. And it's just really nice design-wise on your eye because you have that little bit of relief of space. Just like keeping, some white spaces open in design, you also want some change of, contrast. So having also very dark lines and very dark spaces kind of breaks the space up for your eye and is very nice to look at. So let's see, what are we going to do next? I have a couple more minutes. Let's go ahead and do another one of my favorite things, which is doing the leaf shape. So on these big ones out here, I'm going to do a leaf shape. So let's start from just in the middle. And this we're going to keep focus on our line work again. Remember our very definite start period and draw, but instead of a stop, we're going to lift. So I'll show you what that is. So we start our line, we draw, and then lift. So instead of stopping directly, we just lift our pen, and that will give us that nice, very tapered end that looks really organic and gives a very leafy botanical feel to our leaves. And so each one of these, I just start, draw, lift, start, draw, lift, and each one going out. And you can put as many as you want. These are just like the little veins of the leaf. And so that will again bring more of that kind of botanical feel out into the outside of our mandala. There we go. And so even if you go a little bit quicker like I am, just still having that, in your mind, that very definite start, draw, and lift. And again, the lift helps you get that organic feel, but the very definite points that you're making your lines with is what keeps this very mindful and keeps your your mind focused in on the task and kind of keeping you sort of contained in your brain from wandering about all the crap that we need to do in the day, right? Hi, Laura. Thanks for popping in. Just a couple minutes left. But I save all these, so you can feel free to come back later and do them whenever you have a chance. Let's see, just another minute. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put some just my little kind of lines in here. So I'm just going to put these same type of lift lines right in the center of these little petals here. And what's fun about this, you can either, have them be kind of like the fold, the sort of the fold lines of the petals, or if you want, what's really fun sometimes is to put like a little dot at the top of them. Can you see that? And that makes them almost look like little stamen on the inside of the petals. It makes it very cute. And let's see, I had better hop off. I gotta be down the street. And but thank you so much, everybody, for coming on and watching me and hanging out. And if you drew a mandala, please share it with me. Hey, Adele, I would love to see your mandalas. Just put them in the comments. And share them, or if you are brave enough to put them on your wall, just give me a tag so I can see them and I can give them some love. And and please share this video. I would love for you to share. I would love to reach as many people as possible and just exposing them to having these these meditative mandalas and you know, experiencing them and learning to draw them, or even just watching me, you know, draw them if that's what they want to do. That's also very relaxing. So anyway, again, thank you so much, everybody, and have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, well, gosh, it's Saturday, so I don't know. I was gonna say tomorrow morning I have my studio time live, but I'm not positive I'm gonna do it because it's a weekend. But tomorrow I'll be back on for DAMM time. So Rebecca, oh yes, my sing-along, exactly. You know the routine. Oh, yesterday was our 50th too. 50 days in a row. Now, well, hey Stacy, today is 51 days in a row. My neighborhood has gotten together to do a sing-along. So it's kind of crazy. My brain is not really wrapping around that yet. So, but anyway, I will log off because I gotta go, and yeah, I will see you all later. Okay, bye bye.